Hey guys, this is Simon with Trade and Perform Coaching and soon to be toughtrader.com. We'll have that introduced here in just a couple of days. Um, Wanted to go through the trade review for today and discuss what do you do when the market shoots straight up? How could you tell, A, that it was going to go up again for a second day in a row? It's the second day of trend days, right? So, first of all, we knew from yesterday we had trend day up that buyers were in overall control. So, I'm not looking to short an environment, that environment out of the gate. What I'm looking for is rotation down and high odds entries. And um, that can be frustrating, right? Especially when we've just been coming out of a period for the last 2 weeks where the market has been trading on both sides. You could short it and have it push down, or you can, and if it pushed down far enough, you can get long and have it push back up. When I'm coaching people, I can't tell you how many people when I'm coaching them one on one, and they go, "Well, look, I was just making a killing for 2 weeks. I was shorting pushes up, I was buying pushes down, and then all of a sudden we have an environment." And before I do the video here, I'll move this over where you can see on ES. Look, all of a sudden, look at the market before, so you can see we had two-sided trade, right? You can short push-ups, you could buy rotations down, and for the most part, we had just weeks of this. Even if you take out the one small trend day we had there, it was the same thing in here. We had long days, we had short days. It works out. Then all of a sudden, it disappears, and they don't understand why. Why has it gone away? So, two things that I want to discuss. First of all, in ES, ES is easier to trade to the long side from the short side. I don't know why everyone gets so obsessed about shorting ES, but the long side trade on ES is easier than the short side trade. It's slower, but it is easier. And if I can get guys that I'm coaching one on one, when I can get them to focus on the long side trade, they tend to do very, very well. Okay, so that's the first comment, right? Secondly, this was a breakout trade, right? When you can see NQ, and I want to show you this here real quick on the volume profile, and I was pointing this out this morning. ES was trading right at the top of balance. See how this area has been resistance. This 44 to 52 has been consistent, has been a consistent area of support and resistance. And I pointed out this morning, this is from the 24-hour chart, and I said if we can get over this little tuft of volume, there's really no resistance over here to the left. This 4850, let's call it, was really critical, and above 50 we had an easy push. We've had multiple days of consolidation, and then you had one more piece that was really important. Look, this was pretty bad news, right? You would have thought, missiles flying over Japan was a bad deal. And this move right here told you that, hey, this market's ready to explode to the upside. So missiles over Japan isn't what's going to bring the market down. And it's just been a continued long history of all the sellers that were available clearly got knocked out. We closed at the high of the day. We closed just inside of key resistance, right? Because, and the reason why I say that is this entire area, if you shorted that 48 to 52, you've been getting paid, right? So what you had to recognize from overnight is that we had a large volume build and that 48 to 50 area, and once we got above it, it was good night. So now let's go to the video and see how that played out and how you could have told. So we knew we had the volume build overnight, right? So now we go to the next step, right? And the next step of this, let me minimize this, and let's go to the video instead. It'll be much easier to see. And before I continue, I've got to pop this up real quick. Past performance is not indicative of future results. This is for educational purposes only. My goal is to bring traders from being losing traders to consistently profitable traders. That's what I'm trying to do in everything that I do in the room. And what I find the biggest key to that is if you can avoid your big drawdowns, then we can get you built towards being consistent and profitable. And I do that both in one-on-one coaching, and I do that in the room from a mentoring standpoint, obviously not as personalized. But the objective is constantly the same. How can we stack consistent winning trades? So if you look at the open, we're going to fast forward here. So here we go to the open. Now notice, we opened underneath the volume point of control. ES is trading above its opening print, and NQ is trading above its opening print. That's what the blue dotted line is. So the first thing I'm going to say is, look, if they're both above their opening print, right, they're in very good shape. Additionally, I pointed out that 48 to 50 was key resistance. If we didn't fail there, we were likely to continue driving. Again, I pointed that out in the market preview. And then as we advance a little bit, what we're going to see is, notice how we dip into the green zone. Now, I have three zones on the chart. There's a white zone, highest odds, right? There is a green zone, a yellow zone, second highest odds, white zone, the highest odds, and then there's a red zone. A red zone is a busted white zone, which usually acts as a very good support resistance location. Okay, so as we roll forward here, what you're going to see is we've now pushed into the green zone, which means you just need a higher skill level to figure out if you want to take a long. So notice at this point we have both NQ and ES below their opening print. Now watch what happens next. Here we come down. Okay, look at the size of this impulse move right here. Both markets now above their opening print. And now what's going to happen next? We should push up into this 48.50. So I want to show you. We came down. We tested Globex low. It told you locals were in control. Tick opened. The only thing that was weird today is Tick opened way negative. Again, there was no sellers yesterday, and there was no sellers to follow up on it today. This is a big bar here. We're not bearish unless we get below on this NQ bar. Push it forward. So now you can see that we've pushed above Thursday's volume point of control. Look at NQ's already above. Okay, so these are critical elements, right? Notice NQ's on the second bar. NQ's already above Tuesday's high. ES is trailing behind Tuesday's high, but NQ tends to lead the market. If NQ's running, ES is going to tend to follow it. So watch what comes up. Watch as we push into that 48.50 overnight. Here it comes. So look, right now we're in this 48.50. We just arrived there. Now look at what NQ's doing. NQ's going, hey, I'm not looking back. I haven't attempted to retrace. It is on a rocket ship. So I want to pause here. The long for NQ was at 58.62 3/4. It just didn't hit. That's not a big deal. It's not a good thing or a bad thing. It's just part of the process. If you wanted to front run it, that's fine. I don't front run it. I was looking for a long out of 58.62. I didn't get it. Let's keep advancing the picture. What I did here is I threw on CL because we were about to have inventory. But nonetheless, what you're going to see is, remember, this is the 48.50. Now notice, 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, right? We're getting resistance. Again, this was added essentially in the overnight, from the overnight session as a resistance point, right? But I don't want to short NQ's on fire. I'm going to keep dragging it along, right? So I don't care. Understand, look at this. I could come here and say, boom, I told you 48.50 is a short, and we roll down. Not the point. NQ's having zero weakness. I want nothing to do with the short side of this trade here. We're going to come through. Notice the push back up. Now notice we push all the way to 50. Now we're coming up on last week's high. And I'm going to advance it here just a little bit. And then you're going to notice that we finally get above last week's high. I apologize, I left for lunch, so the chart went basically right off. And I had another point. So notice that we came off the white zone here at 58.62 and we traveled right to 59.12. Now, I want everyone to look at that NQ chart for a minute because it's important. Constant higher highs, constant higher lows, no sign of a single seller anywhere, right? I want to get at least below this 5,900 before I take any shot at taking a short. Now, that's contrary to where we were 2 weeks ago. This would have been a fantastic place to trade. Why? The market wasn't breaking out. We weren't coming off a base. We didn't get above the trend day up from last Tuesday. So the context has changed, and context is everything in trading. And then watch at the end of the day. So we're going to push. The screen will adjust here in a second. There we go. We ended up at the end of the day. And so I want to show this picture here. Now, this 59.24 was an open gap. We pushed right past the white zone. This white zone is now going to act as support overnight. And then if you look right at the end of the day, we already know that this is going to be a support area. So even looking at the push down at the end of the day, right, look at what the market does. Oh, well, we don't even get there. I apologize. We came right back, and we didn't get back into this. Hold on a second here. That's not my chart. Let's get that correct. Where is, hold on 1 second. Wow, I love it when I have so many windows open on my chart. There we go. Now that completes the picture. So now if you look on ES, right, we come back and roll back right up against last week's high, right? So imagine these shorts. Okay, so yes, somebody got a short off at 58.60, and that's great. I congratulate them. But I would have rather been the buyer at 54.50 for a push back up towards 60. than I would have wanted to be a short trying to guess where the high is, because for the last 2 days, anyone who was trying to short all the way up, that's the first sense of relief they got, and it was barely any kind of rollover. Look on NQ, right? We finally got above that open gap. We finally rolled down, right? And that's great. If someone got the short, look at, again, look at this picture, right? There was almost no good place to short, but you had a beautiful long right off the backside test of that open gap, and this white zone should offer active support overnight. Again, that 59.22 to 59.12 should act as support for continuation, and we're certainly not short unless we get underneath 59.12, backside test it, and then we have an opportunity to push back down. So I am looking for, while we're in a breakout mode, right, NQ breakouts can last for 1 to 2 to 3 weeks. I am focused purely on long side trades, on pushes down, unless we break back into the range, right? So if you look at this from a 15-minute chart perspective, right, this is your breakout off your base at 58.81. Unless we trade back below 58.81, right, you're going to see me focus on long side opportunities and looking for 20 and 30 point stretches on NQ, because that's where the money is. Same thing on ES. I'm looking for pushes down, 5-minute tick divergence for pushes back to the upside. I'm not worried about the short side right now. This is Simon. I'm with toughtrader.com. I help bring traders from losing traders and break-even traders to consistently profitable traders. And importantly, no one in the room got caught short on this whole move up, right? Really, really important. As soon as you shift gears, right? So granted, I didn't catch this push up. It kind of caught me flat-footed, right? But no one in the room got run over to the short side. And keeping your profits is one of the biggest challenges in trading, and not getting run over in this environment helps you significantly. Okay, guys, I'm out. I will talk to you all later. Have a wonderful, wonderful night. If you'd like to visit the room, email me at tradeandperform@gmail.com. I'm more than happy to accommodate you with a 5-day trial into the room. And the room's only $95 a month. It's an incredible amount of useful information. The live mentor room that's open throughout the day, along with the daily charts in ES, NQ, CL, Euro, and 30-year note. So have a great night, guys. Talk to y'all later. Keep making money. Don't give it back to the market, and don't draw down.